Hello and welcome to Learn with Indrjeet. This is another video in the series of videos titled Building a To-Do Management System Application in the latest .NET 8 framework from Microsoft. In the previous video, we implemented the get by ID, create, update and delete endpoints in our To-Do Groups controller. If you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and watch that first. In this video, we will be implementing the create range, update range and delete range endpoints in the To-Do Groups controller, and we'll also test that in the Swagger UI. So let's get started. So here we are in Visual Studio in the To-Do Groups controller, where get by ID, create, update and delete endpoints are implemented. Let's go ahead and implement the create range, update range and delete range endpoints. So let me paste some code from the clipboard so that you don't have to watch me typing each and every line. We'll go through each and every line one by one. So before that, let's take care of this red squiggly. It says To-Do group service does not contain a definition for create range. Okay, so let's go to the To-Do group service, Control T, enter, and here we only have one function. So let us go to this service F12. Okay, where create range must be here. Okay, so create range should be there. So let me put in n over here and also, and now this interface is complaining because it all started from here, range and range. Okay, so let's save all, and okay, fine. Now the squiggly is gone. So let me take you through each and every line of the functions. So first, create range. It takes a list of To-Do group DTOs. So first of all, it checks if the list is null or the count is less than 0, then it returns a bad request. Next, it checks for the model state. If it is not valid, it collects the errors using the get model state errors extension that we created in one of the previous videos. If there are errors, then using string builder, we are generating a proper message and then returning a bad request. Otherwise, if everything is okay, then we go ahead and create the range of model DTOs and get them as created DTOs. We again check if the created DTOs are null or their count is less than 0, then we are returning a bad request. Otherwise, we return okay. So this is the create range function. Similarly, update range also takes a list of To-Do group DTOs, checks for the list input. If it is null or count is less than 0, returns a bad request. If the model state is not valid, gets the model errors, generates the message and returns bad request. Otherwise, it goes ahead and updates the range, and if the updated DTOs are by chance null or the count is less than 0, it returns a bad request. Otherwise, returns okay. Similarly, the delete also takes a list of To-Do group DTOs as a list, checks for null or count equal to less than 0, returns a bad request in that case, checks for the model state and generates a message, returns bad request. Otherwise, it goes ahead and delete the range of the list of the models that we supplied. If the rows affected is less than or equal to 0, then it returns a bad request with the proper message. Otherwise, it returns OK 200. right? So this is the implementation. Let's test them one by one. F5 to start the application with debugging. So here we are in Swagger. So let's go ahead and create a range of to-do groups. Let's remove this ID. Let's put in the group name as test to do group 1 2 3. Say it is 3. Let's replicate this for 4 and then 5. So we are trying to create multiple to-do groups in one go. So that is why create range is there. Let's put in a debug point, F9 for the debug point, and let's go back and hit execute. So it takes us to the create range function implementation. F10 to move to the next line. So it is trying to check whether the list is null or empty. It is not. Now for the model state is valid. Okay, now it goes ahead and creates the range. So the list is now created with IDs 7, 8 and 9. Okay, and let's hit continue to go ahead. So the response is 200. Okay, and here we are with the newly created to-do groups, right? So 3, 4 and 5. Let's copy these so that we can check the update also. So let's update 2 of them. Okay, so suppose we want to update the test to do group 4 and test to do group 5. Okay, copy that and update range, try, and let's put in our to do groups to be updated. So I am just putting some value over here, updated, and testing update range. Okay, and let's put in a debug point, F9, and then execute. So here we are in the update range. Again, checks for the list, model state, updates, and let's see if this fourth is updated and the fifth one is also updated. Fine. So let's continue. Now let's check the delete range also the same way. So let's go to let's try and update the 5th and 6th, 7th. Okay, so let me get the list from here. So we will be trying to delete this to do group 3 and to do group 5. Okay, so let's go to the delete range function and let's put that, and let's delete this 4th one. So here we are trying to delete the to do group number 3 and number 5. So let's go back to Visual Studio, put in a debug point over here and click execute, right? So here we are with the list of 2 items. Again, checking for null, model state, and deleting. So 2 rows are affected. So let's click continue, and these 2 are now deleted. Let's go back to the get and try to get the list of all the to do groups. So now we have to do group test group 1, test group 2, 3 is gone, 4, and the 5th one is also gone, right? So In this video, we implemented the create, update and delete range. In the next video, we will be implementing the to-do lists as well as to-dos. So we'll start with the database, we'll create new tables for that, and we'll use the magic of copy and paste to create everything starting from repository, service up to controller, and then we'll test that. Right? So if you like the content of this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. In the comments, let me know what you are learning from these videos, if that is useful or not. And if you have any queries or questions, you can ask those in the comments. Thank you for your time. Keep learning.